Before we start, I just want to say that this video contains pretty major data mine leaks, and if you don't want to be spoiled before this inevitably comes out, I suggest you click away. But anyway, hello me's of the world, I'm Crafty Type 1, and I'm here to tell you why Nintendo Switch Sports is likely to have free roaming. Let's first start off with what we officially know about this game. On the Japanese Nintendo Switch Sports website, we are able to see fully rendered shots of areas that aren't actually sports, like a cafe, an ice cream stand, and even a lounge. These areas are actually connected to the sports. They're just hidden in the background a little bit. So these might just be fully rendered shots of background areas that we might not be able to visit. But for this first one, it's just something to put out there that we do have these images and they do seem like areas we can visit. But this next thing led me down this rabbit hole of trying to find out if there actually might be free roaming in this game. In the online playtest, during loading screens, you would get different messages pertaining to either Spacco Square or the sport that you were playing. Some of these messages are pretty standard, but some expand on the lore of Spacco Square. What's odd is some of these messages state you could do other activities other than sports at the square. And this all ties back to these first images that we saw in the Nintendo Switch Sports Japanese website. I'm gonna go ahead and read off some of the more interesting ones, but I don't have images for most of them. Data miners were able to extract all 70 that were in the playtest, so these are most likely going to be in the final game. Some of these messages include tourist tip, Spacco Square amenities. After a full day of playing sports, you'll have easy access to shopping, restaurants, and work, no matter which area you're in. Tourist tip, shuttle buses. There's a red bus going between the venues every 15 minutes. What's interesting is you actually could see a red bus during some Trambara fights, right outside the fighting arena. And then lastly, we have tourist tip, Central Plaza. The Central Plaza with the large S landmark has a reception area for visitors and locker rooms for competitors. Those are just a few of the big ones that kind of tipped me off to the whole free roaming area. I'll go ahead and throw a lot of the other major ones up right now. Yes, these all could just be lore building, but if we dig deeper into the files, we're able to find more evidence of a free roaming mode. Data miners were actually able to find different variations of the loading screen that suggested different areas. For example, a bluish watery one, a yellowish sandy one, and a straight up ice cream one. There also seems to be an icon design similarly to the sports icons that depicts a man running. Unfortunately, the file name doesn't really give us any ideas of what this might lead to, that being icon picto run, but this strongly suggests that there's just going to be another mode somewhere in the menu. While researching for this video, data miners actually found something that made me almost 100% believe that we're getting some sort of free roaming in Nintendo Switch Sports. But before we get to that, if you are enjoying this video, don't be afraid to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm doing a lot more Nintendo Switch Sports content soon. Also, comment down below what you want in Nintendo Switch Sports. I'll be talking about what your answers are in a separate video. Anyways, data miners were able to find textures for signs like the ones displayed outside of the sports areas. They uncovered the textures for the sports, but also Spacco Square Station, ATOZ Mall, and Park Center. I would say these three textures at least confirmed smaller areas that you could walk around. I'm personally hoping for a large open world with, minimal loading screens, but these three textures at least show some areas that we can go to. Lastly, we did find ambient music tracks in the files of the playtest. Though we only found 2, it kind of suggests that there is one for every sport and every amenity that we would be able to go to. For the 2 tracks that we did find, we have the cafe buttons and also the bowling alley. And this is what they sound like. With all this information, I think we're going to get a full-on free roam that could replace the menu if you like. For example, you could just walk to the bowling alley or leave the bowling alley and go to the tennis court. But you could also go to the amenities mentioned in the messages on the loading screens, like the cafe, the art gallery, and the shopping mall. I think we're going to get a second trailer very soon in the coming weeks that showcases this free roaming mode entirely. They did something similar with Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, where they did a reveal trailer, and then they did a second trailer showing off the mouthful mode. There's one rebuttal I am seeing is, oh, why didn't they show it in the first trailer? It's because they're doing a Kirby and the Forgotten Lands approach, where they reveal the game, and then they reveal a bigger thing on top of it in the second trailer. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, as well as what you want in Nintendo Switch Sports. Again, I'm going to be doing a video discussing on what you guys want in the game. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out my Twitch, where I've been playing a lot of multiplayer games with you guys and talking about the latest releases of Nintendo games. Anyways, I'm Crafty Type 1, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios!